Let us know.
I don't know. The world may never know.
The world, yeah. Hey, are you putting this in, Sean? Are you clipping this in?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna do the intro. I was like, oh, we're kind of like talking right now.
Do the intro, man.
Gotta get really hype.
All right.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Woo! Okay, I'm ready. Welcome to Almost a Podcast. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. All right, boys, lads. Welcome to Almost a Podcast. I'm your host today, Colton. I got my two co-hosts here, Mike and Sean.
What's up?
Sean is like dying. I don't know what I said, but it's just a normal intro over here.
A normal Colton intro. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
A normal Colton intro. How you boys?
I'm keeping in your first try for sure.
Oh
yeah.
No, that was definitely not as
great. It was great.
as great as the second try. The second try was definitely the mainstream version.
Mm-hmm.
At least there was no BEP. For those who aren't familiar with that, Colton will basically peak his mic at the when we just start recording, and it just to blow
no
out our
reason.
eardrums.
It's warranted.
mean.
It's a signal to know that to let Sean know when we're about to record, because we record
Really doesn't
beforehand
help me at all.
to make sure you don't use it. We record beforehand because we
I
kind of
can't
warm
see
up.
it. Like it's just
You don't see my huge block of noise coming in.
You would need to do it for a longer period of time, and then maybe I'd see it.
Well, okay, I'll make sure to do that next time. I'll bet for a
Just
5 seconds
hold on to
straight.
it for 10 seconds. Oh.
Yeah, do like a Goku scream or
boy.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is the 20th episode, right? 20.
Jeez, yeah.
I think this is our 20th episode.
Did not think we would. In some ways, it feels like it's been forever, and in some ways, it feels like it was a very short time to get to episode 20.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this technically still for a little bit under a half year, but we're really close to the half year mark.
20 weeks. We've been doing
20
this.
weeks. Yeah, 20 consecutive weeks. So that's
Wow.
pretty cool, and we're seeing the viewership go up every little bit a week. I've been looking at some other smaller podcasts that have to compare ourselves with viewership and stuff like that, and there's a couple that were on they started 20 episodes. You could see their downloads, and you could see where they were at 40 and 50 and 100, and where they kind of at a certain point when you get enough downloads, they get a little criteria next to their name, top 1% of podcasts, top 0.1, top 10%, whatever. So I'm interested to see.
I imagine you would plateau at some point, though. I thought that was a big thing that happened, is you would plateau, and then people either drop off because of that, or.
Well, we're not going to plateau,
that,
Sean. We're gonna keep growing. The content's going to keep going.
That's the hope, right? But
I've seen a lot of. I mean, the podcasts that I listen to, they're not necessarily done. They didn't peak at 10 episodes and then keep the same thing. They kept kind of growing and innovating. So I'm just wondering if we'll comparing us to them when we'd get there, if we'd get there sooner or later or whatnot. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it really interesting? Yeah.
It's interesting to see that comparing ourselves. I know the content is the master. Don't care about the views and all that stuff. But
I honestly try
funny.
not to look at views, as much as I can.
Yeah, I know.
It's useful to me to spot trends. That's about it. And then I try not to think at all
It's
about how much we're getting on a certain day or a certain week or anything like that.
Yeah, I need to be better, because I'm yes, give me those views. But no,
right? You'll message me you see this episode got this many views.
I know, but it's
that's
that
crazy.
high. When we got our first rush of a spike of views, I was like, holy crap, guys, did you see this? I was pretty excited.
It was pretty fun.
Even though it wasn't that many people, to be completely honest, but it was still kind of fun to see. So
well, we still appreciate each and every one.
I appreciate all the viewers. Please, we're on YouTube now, so please leave a comment. Please watch the podcast on YouTube, and just let us know what you think. If you hate our faces, or you don't like it, you can also leave a comment there too.
Voices.
Our non-existent faces at this point.
Yeah, our non-existent faces at this point.
I'm going to segue abruptly.
Go for it.
Speaking of faces,
You can take it away.
Speaking of faces, I got a haircut today, and
I did notice.
This is the first time I've gotten a haircut. And I'm not trying to call you guys out.
You guys, you beta males haven't gotten a haircut in a while.
I know you haven't gotten a haircut in a while, Colton.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah.
But I need to get a haircut usually every 4 to 6 months, and this was the first time I got a haircut in my new city.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going to the same barber for like 3 years previously. Super cheap, does good cuts, and there's a certain barber there that I liked. I paid like $20 for a haircut usually, and like that was their rate, my previous barber's rate, and then anywhere from like 4 to 5 I'd give on a tip.
Right.
I got a haircut today, and finding a haircut, the haircutting place, there was a ton, and I
Trying to
hate having to choose things. Like I'm like, I just want something to work. So I was looking at reviews. And I'm like,
the reviews.
At some point, it doesn't really matter.
Looking at the critics, are you, Sean?
Well, I was for services. I was making my thing for services.
Yep.
I look at reviews, but at a certain point, I'm like, none of these things matter. There's good or bad, and I was just looking at like kind of like cost and like pictures and things. And I went to one place and I drove by the storefront. And I'm like, this is not my place.
No, okay.
And then I drove. I had passed like 2 more barbershops on the way here, and I remember one of the names from my search, so I went to that one. And it was a coolish barbershop, but the price that I paid was ridiculous for like a normal haircut that I would usually get. Like I don't do anything fancy. I just shorten everything up, go around the ears, square the back, like super simple stuff.
Yeah.
The haircut was like $35.
Okay.
And then you have to do like, there was usually like tip on top of that.
Yeah.
You normally do.
Give them a certain
And
percentage.
I got sucked into the choose on the little tablet thing, where it's like, you spin it around and you think like, you don't like a bar would do
Square,
that.
Yeah, they default like 20%. Oh, 20, 30, and 40%.
They default here 25%.
Oh, they're trying to really get you. Yeah.
And it's like, I was like I'm one of those people that like I don't want to like take too long paying or like make any sort of fuss. Yeah. So I went to custom, but then it didn't give me extra things. It just gave me a dollar amount, and then I forgot the dollar amount that it took to that the regular like 25 was. So I'm like, and then I didn't want to take too long, so I just went back to 25. And then it ends up being like $46 for this haircut. Yeah. Which is in my mind, I know for any women listening, this is probably chump change, for a haircut.
Yeah.
But for me, for a guy, that's just like, that's a ridiculous amount of money since I'm used to spending $25 on a haircut.
Yeah, I get you there. My haircuts lately, since I've been growing my hair out, have been definitely getting towards that $35 to $40 a cut range.
Oh, you're still getting haircuts?
Really?
I get trims since every 4 to 5 months probably to, make sure my hair isn't totally matted and stuff. But it's been getting a lot more expensive just because, I got an undercut for my longer hair. I'm not like a socket haircut, as you guys know, but just a little like get all the stuff under my ears and under my neck kind of thing. And it just gets up there. I get my haircut at a salon too, so maybe that influences it instead of a barbershop now since it's that long. But
I was going to ask that, Sean, is why barbershop over salon, right?
What's the difference?
Salons are usually where women get their haircut, where barbershops seem to
be mostly men.
I mean, that's probably why I went there. Because in my mind, a salon is also for like I don't have long hair. I don't need extra stuff. I just need my haircut, Yep. But now there's this new breed of like, fancy barbershops. And like, I just want the one with 4 chairs and 2 old dudes sitting there and they know how to cut hair. But now there's just like, there was like some sort of wrap going on here and there's spray paint on the walls. And like,
grungy.
It's like we're cool and we have tattoos and things
we're
like
edgy.
that. But I don't need all that. I just want a haircut, And I don't know how to talk hair. Do you know how to talk hair?
I've learned a little bit. Usually I show them a photo.
I don't know what things are called. There's fades and there's things. I don't know what that is. I don't know
really?
how to.
Just like
I
give
don't
me a
know how
trim.
to talk hair.
Just make me look good.
I now know the numbers. I know a number and then like square the back.
Yeah,
That's
square the
all
back
I
instead of
know.
round the back. I see.
Yeah. Do they do at the barbershop you went to? Do they do the straight razor on the back of the neck?
It said they did, but they didn't do it. So
really?
I'm wondering if I
that
kind of got
part.
gypped or not.
Honestly, that's kind of worth it going to barbershops. Just I don't know what it's about it is like it just feels right.
It
like,
feels
where
good.
Just like,
yeah.
They just cut like that. The little strand hairs that you get on the back of your neck there.
I just don't know what the back of my head looks like. So it's I don't know. Like,
Turn around.
I don't think I have a good back of the head. I think it's a pretty like subpar.
I don't think the haircut peak or like the best part of the haircut is the back of the head though. No one looks at someone as like, I love that back of the head.
You would argue it's what half of people see though is the back.
That's true, but that's true. No one's looking at someone else and they're like, man, Sean's back of the head. That's like what I like. That's the shit.
But I bet it
like.
factors in. I mean, all your haircuts in the back of your head.
All my haircuts?
Yeah, I mean, like you have like an Aaron Yeager haircut going.
Yeah,
right
but that's
now.
because
that's all in the back of the head.
That's not because I have a bun though. Most of it's like making sure your hair is like fitting your face well, kind of thing. That's how I see it. For when you have short hair, like the back of the head, yeah, you don't want it to be matted, but most of it's on your style in the front over the back. You just don't want like a lot of scraggly hairs in the back.
Now,
I guess
have you guys ever like gone to like a barbershop or salon where like they do like the full treatment where it's like they wash everything, like you can trim up your beard?
What's
or anything
the full
like that?
treatment?
Like full wash your hair. It takes like an hour and a half to do the entire thing.
No, I would hate that.
You would love it. It's really nice.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So
that's so much time.
Once every year, I'd normally go to a barbershop back in at MSU, and there's a great little spot there. So usually go there, but once every year I'd go to, there's an Aveda Institute, which is like, fancy and like basically they're teaching people. So it's relatively inexpensive, but also like quality haircuts, and they'll take an hour and a half to do like the entire, hair shampoo thing. I gotta say it's kind of worth it there to just have like, especially when you have really long hair.
Yeah, I mean,
do it.
I do it at my salon. I get the same thing. It's like I go in. It might not be the same as the barbershop treatment, but I go in. I don't even get like consulted when I first get there. They just wash my hair and give me like a head massage. They give me like 4 different types. Yeah, it's like, so I get my hair shampooed and then they scrub my hair, but then they're also like massaging my head as they do my wash. And they don't just do like shampoo and conditioner, but they have these other like 2 essential oil things that go into my hair and make it really nice. So I get quite pampered.
Yeah,
This is crazy to me.
I
saw a barbershop, like I was looking at my list. One of the services was like in the default haircut was like shoulder massage, and I was like, well, I'm not going there. I don't want that. Just cut my hair. Yep. I just want a simple cut.
15 minutes
That's
or less.
That's the hardest thing for me to find, apparently.
That's hilarious.
So that was my day today, essentially, and buying more groceries than I needed to.
Yeah.
I think I was telling Colton before you got here, Michael, that I buy too many groceries for like just someone living on their own, I got like, I look at my cupboard, I'm like, why do I have so much stuff? I don't
it's like, it's full. What's going on?
Yeah. Here's my recommendation, is something I did with mine, is basically make a list and write down what you buy, especially if you use like a list to remember things when going to the grocery store, but just like mark off what you actually use, and then whatever is left there is like, this is stuff I don't need to buy again because I don't ever use it. Like there's like some things, obviously spices and stuff, like I don't usually have to rebuy a big thing of spices, or like I've got some cornstarch for doing some side things. But maybe I
don't think the problem is me buying things I don't eat or need. It's buying more of what I would normally do.
Yeah, it's like
so you buy 1 pound of bacon or 3 pounds of bacon instead of 1 pound of bacon or something like that.
Yeah, or like I bought 2 frozen pizzas today because I'm like, I eat a frozen pizza. Let's say it's like, that's like my emergency meal. Like I don't really I don't really want to do anything.
Classic.
I don't feel like making food today. Let's have pizza. So that maybe might happen like once every couple weeks, or once a month. But then I bought 2 of them, and like I don't need this many. When my freezer's already full of things.
And would you eat an entire frozen pizza?
I would eat. So what I would normally do is eat half of it, and then I take the other half to work for like lunch.
I always have.
So I mean, I'm pretty efficient with my food. It's just like I have too much of it.
Yeah.
You know? And it doesn't expire, you know, because I have stuff that you're like the stuff that I have a lot of. Like I was telling Colton, I had to Google how long onions last in the pantry because I came back from the grocery store today with like a bundle of onions, and then I realized I had already bought another one last week. So now I have 2 bundles of onions.
And you're like,
you
oh
put
shit.
onions in the pantry.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? That's where they go.
No, they go in the fridge.
No.
Because
Why would you put it in
will
the fridge?
grow. Have you seen? So this is
I put
something.
mine in the pantry
so
as
my
well.
mom had onions sitting out like in like a dish, right? Because we cook with onions quite a bit. This was when I was like in my teens, and we had watched and like there's like one we just never really used. I ended up watching it grow as an experiment, and like over the course of 6 months, as it like started to grow and actually like start fruiting a little bit. So that's what
for
happens.
6 months.
Don't let that happen.
Why are you leaving onions for 6 months?
Because it's an experiment.
This is the point that I'm trying to make: is you buy too much food and then you just don't use it. I know I will use all of these onions in 2 to 3 months, which is the time period it says they're good for.
Yeah,
which I found on Google.
Onions in the fridge and they last 6 months.
Why?
Huh.
Why are you putting things in the fridge? You don't need
because sometimes I don't feel like eating onions
the
for like
fridge is
3
where
weeks,
beer
4
goes,
weeks.
Okay, there's no space in my fridge for onions. It's filled with beer.
It's only beer.
So there's the real problem
the
right
vegetable
there.
drawer,
Well,
it's just
problem.
my beer. Like, sorry.
Problem, quote unquote.
This is also the thing. Like I don't drink during the week, and I have way too much, and I don't drink a ton over the weekend. So I have way too much beer in my fridge for I did like a month ago. After that I was like, well, I have way too much. I gotta just stop buying stuff.
Yeah.
Because every time I'd go out, I'd be like, oh, well, that sounds like a good 6-pack.
Yeah, and then you just keep getting
I never go
collecting
grocery
it.
shopping.
And,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I buy too much at grocery store.
See, that's why you gotta have a separate beer fridge.
I would like to, but I don't know if I want to get into that rabbit hole.
That's a space. That's a space concern too. It's like a heavy space concern.
Yeah.
I remember
And
when
it's
Gus and
more
I
electricity and everything. So.
Yeah, I remember when Gus and I lived in the apartment back in college. We had that separate little beer fridge. It's like this is dedicated to beer, and the freezer is dedicated for taquitos and
like frozen pizzas and
vodka.
pizza rolls. Yeah,
I would love
vodka.
a separate beer
vodka.
fridge.
Yeah.
Would love a separate beer fridge,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get one for my apartment
Yeah,
quite yet. Maybe if I get a bigger apartment or a house down the road, then
yeah.
yes,
I think
100%.
Once a more permanent solution for me that I have when I have that, I'll get a beer fridge. But for now, yeah, I have a liquor
Or you
like
mean
I
real
convinced my
fancy,
parents
you can
to.
real
When I was
bougie?
still
Oh, I
living there,
want-
I
I-
convinced my parents
when
and
I'm.
we finally got a beer fridge in the garage, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a good garage beer fridge. Is good. When I'm older and I have my own house, I want a whole bar. I know a lot of parents have a bar in like the basement
like
or
a wet bar.
something. I love that. I want like the stools. I want all the fancy glasses down there. I want the fridges. I want everything. And I want to have like a pool
That'd be
table
really
down there
cool.
too. That's gonna. I'm gonna need a
Foosball
big-
table.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. If you're
Sean,
over a
foosball
lot,
table.
Sean, I'll get one. But
Yes, let's go.
but yeah, that's what I want, and it would be great.
I think I'd want a projector. That'd be the thing. Is you want like
You're
so
a
you could-
projector guy, huh?
A big projector,
Well, just-
huh?
yeah, because then you can like set up like the game. You can watch the Super Bowl, the big Super Bowl party on projector. I don't normally like them, but just in some like a space like that, I think it's perfect. Where it's like, all right, bunch of people gathered, right? You got like maybe if you want your pool table, but then okay, I can pull down this projector.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I've got like optimally, you'd have a a window or something like that. But then you have a projector bar above it, and you can just now I can watch whatever I want, movies or sports.
Yes, yeah,
I can
sports
see it.
or esports. Am I right? That's what I'd watch.
Oh
probably at
geez,
night.
yeah.
Am I right, guys?
Gamers.
Actually, League is kind of fun to watch. I think I've said this before, but I hate playing League. But boy, is it kind of fun to watch.
Is it fun to
And,
watch?
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's fun once you know the game a little bit.
Disagree on that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can understand because like not many people like watching golf, but I do. So like
Golf is
I can get when you not like watching things.
Yeah.
Or to each their own in that regard, Because
Absolutely.
I find golf very entertaining to watch because I go like, oh wow, that was a really good putt, or like, ooh, missed it. Sucks to be that guy,
Yeah,
But like,
in the drink.
yeah, but Not everybody likes it. I know most people don't.
Yeah, golf is like a very like you kind of have to be you have to be into golf to want to watch golf. Even more so than like baseball. Yeah. Baseball's pretty boring to watch, I think. I really like the baseball sport.
I don't know who likes watching baseball.
Yeah, you have to be into the sport to want to watch it.
Yeah. I think baseball is really fun as long as you're in the stadium and it's like Thirsty Thursday and you can drink inside the stadium. That's when it's fun. But I mean, let's be real. Alcohol makes everything fun. So.
I would rather though just be at a brewery. Why would I you know?
There's something about the atmosphere though. It's like an atmosphere thing. Yeah, I think the bad thing with baseball and drinking is that it's really expensive too. Like the drinks can be really expensive. If the beers were like $4, $4 to $5 at baseball games, that could actually be really fun. Like a really fun outing. Go with your friends, baseball, drink, get kind of buzzed, and I don't know. Every time someone hits the ball, you cheer, play a drinking game to like until the guy hits the ball, you take a drink or something like that. It's a good time.
The only enjoyable time I've had at a baseball game was when I was in a box.
In a box.
That's like the only time.
Ooh. Like when you're when you're the furthest removed from the game. Basically.
Yeah, but you have like a room to hang out in.
It's like a heated room.
And not watch the game.
Just just hang out, eat some hors d'oeuvres. Yeah.
That's fancy. Yeah, have free, open bar.
We didn't have an open bar. I also was too young at the time to drink. But
that's pretty.
We had a family friend who had a connection, so we were able to get boxes fairly often.
That's pretty awesome.
But like I just being in the stands and you're in the sun and like it's too much work.
That's kind of the point.
Just go to a brewery and put the game on the TV.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's better. You're right.
Nah, Sean, we'll go to a baseball game. Maybe when we all hang out next, we'll go to a baseball game. We could try it out. Try it out.
Great.
I bet we could have fun.
Try it out. I've been to several baseball games.
But you haven't done the baseball game drunk. We do not advocate for drinking.
It's fair. To be fair, I have not done that. Football game, there's another story, but like a baseball game, no. Because after I left of like after I went to college, just never went to a baseball game again.
yeah. Like the same way, but I'm like
football games.
I don't watch football anymore. Honestly, after I left college, just kind of not a huge fan. Man, that's a hot take for the Americans. Yeah, I'm not a huge like football fan. I don't know. I'd rather be doing a lot of other things with my time if I were than watching sports. To be completely honest, I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm in the same boat.
There's like a lot of other stuff.
I'll usually watch MSU or like the main.
Yeah,
I'll
occasionally watch an MSU game, but like it's just not the form of entertainment that entertains me.
Yeah, there's no storyline.
If that makes sense.
I can't get.
There's no
narrative.
There's no narrative.
I'm sure there people would argue that there is.
I'm sure there would. I'm sure there would be people that are like, you just got to be in it for like 5 years.
It's just not what I find entertaining.
Yeah,
I think what makes people watch is not so much the game itself. At least from my family members, because they get really into it, is the betting. They are
the
huge
gambling part
football
of it.
fans, but they are also like huge into like the whole like fantasy football, and also like they'll do sports betting. Actually, my cousin, she makes quite a bit of money off that.
Really?
She makes good calls. Yeah. But
sports betting never appealed to me. Like I like gambling in general. Like I go to casinos, and gamble there on the occasion. But like but sports betting never got me. It was too random for my taste.
I'd prefer to bet on like
not
a
that
horse race.
More random
gambling.
Not that gambling isn't random. Let me be clear. But like, maybe just because I didn't know enough to make an educated guess. You know?
Yeah.
At that rate, I'd rather be at a horse betting place. Just put it on a random horse and be like, yeah.
That was kind of fun. They have like really big like horse betting areas in Vegas.
Yeah.
That, like live stream the horse races. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
I didn't bet on them, but it was fun to see. I've actually also been to horse racing.
Really? I have too.
Yeah, I've been to a horse race, and I think I'd placed like a couple bets, but like, or maybe my parents did it for me because I was kind of young at the time.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to. But yeah. Gambling, everyone.
I don't know.
It's fun. Just kidding. We don't endorse gambling.
But a rabbit hole, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm definitely like when I go to Vegas, I'll have like a budget. I'm like, okay, I can spend this much on gambling, and then it's like that's my entertainment cost, and then I'm done. I don't need to buy anything more. For gambling.
That's a good way to think about it, because I feel like the people who get into like gambling and like get really like addicted to it. See, as like, oh, I can make money on this. Whereas, your perspective is just entertainment.
This is a cost, this is an entertainment cost.
Yeah.
And if I, at the end of the day, have more money than the original chunk I started with, great. But if at the end of the day I have no money, then it's predetermined cost. I know that was a possibility to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
last time I was in Vegas, I was doing my thing, gambling, and I went like a decent chunk of change up, and then came back down. And it's just an up and down thing. And I think at the end of the day, I had lost like $20, of my starting chunk, after all said and done. And to me, that was like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah,
it's a good way to end it.
I can never get into gambling, just because like for me, gambling is like the odds are never really in your favor. For at least all the games that I play, I'm sure some people that play like poker are like, I can read people and I can play the system, right? But for me, as a very, I don't know, not a connoisseur of penny slots, but that's what I've played the most.
Those are designed for you to lose.
It's like all my friends win hundreds of dollars and then I don't win anything, and I'm like, why? And
we won some in Canada.
Well,
that?
Everyone else won something in Canada. I didn't win shit.
No, you didn't.
I didn't win anything.
Who won with me? Because other Mike won 500, and then I won 200, and then someone else won 200 as well.
And I didn't win anything. So I was like, well, this sucks. And I was trying to win something because I was like, you guys are all winning. So I put $20 in. I'm like, I didn't win anything. I put another $20 in. Didn't win anything. I put another $20 in.
We gotta go to a casino, Vegas preferably, and you come with me to a blackjack table.
I would love to play blackjack.
And we'll just try it off, because the last time also very random, but there is strategy or strategy.
I'm for those games.
To penny slots?
No, for blackjack.
Penny slots. Yeah.
And last time I was in Vegas, the guys I was with, I showed them like the roulette, and they were doing like video roulette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go over there and play blackjack. And then I was doing that for a bit, and they came back over to me, and when they got there, I just started winning. Like,
oh really?
I think I won like 10 to 12 hands in a row. And they were like, every time they get like more and more hyped. They go, let's go! It was so fun.
That's dangerous.
Well, yeah, very dangerous. But like, that's the thing. It's like, I have that because of my initial mindset, I'm not going to really lose more than I intended to lose.
Yeah.
So, then they took off, and then I started losing again. And, went back to net, zero, and like, you know what, I'm out. So
yeah.
And it's just a fun time. Like it's an entertainment cost, I think, to me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I don't gamble at all.
I'll let you try to teach me, Sean, but we'll see. I feel like my gambling
really
is
fun.
not my
Honestly,
thing.
I would love to go to a casino with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
God, I can't
God, no.
We gamble
So
our life
legal.
savings
I feel like it's
away.
legal.
And just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
That's one of those things I weirdly like for some reason, is going to casinos and things.
Huh. That is interesting.
I don't know, part of your personality just like, pulls to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the risk versus reward part.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
got a high risk tolerance.
But you don't mind like the money is not the thing that actually gets you into gambling. It's just the game itself kind of thing. Like you're just like playing.
Yeah,
the game.
I mean it's fun to win. That's obviously that serotonin boost you get. But I start the game with the intention that it's gonna be lost. You know?
So it's like a happy surprise when you get more. And you win.
and what inevitably happens is you get caught up on winning that you forget to leave when you're up.
Yep.
So I never leave when I'm like, in a pit, because I'm like, this is what I intend to lose. And if I go down to like my net zero, then I'm thinking, well, I've not made anything. Now it's getting time for me to probably head out. And if I go down a little bit more, then I'm like, okay, it's out. So even the amount that I intend to possibly lose, I never lose that much, because I'm, it's like a safety margin in a way.
That's good. Yeah. I just know myself well enough that I think you guys both know I can have a addictive / obsessive type personality where I get really invested in something really quickly. And so my that's why like the one thing I'm like I don't gamble is because I know that could like I don't think it would necessarily, but maybe something does trigger it, and I'm like, all right, 1,000% in. Yeah, maybe I win really well.
1,000%.
Well, it's good to stay away.
It's like it's like I gotta keep going, gotta try again.
Yeah,
that's why poker's kind of nice because there's a buy-in, and that's all the money you spend. So if you lose the tournament or whatever, then you just lost your buy-in and that's it. Whereas anything else is designed for you to just be easily able to put more money in. You know?
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
It's a dangerous game, that's for sure.
That is, exceptional. I have another topic, boys.
Yeah.
If we're ready to leave this, I have a confession to make. A dirty, dark secret that I've kept in the closet for a long time.
Which is?
Yes, Colton.
keeping you in suspense.
Please elaborate.
My voice is fake. I am a fake.
Wait, what does this mean?
I am a fake voice actor. My voice is fake.
What is that? I don't know what that means.
So here's the thing. All right. So the story is.
I think I heard about this at one point.
I don't think I've told you guys this story before. I've just
keep going because
I've come to this realization very recently from doing the podcast. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
So personally, a lot of my adult life, after my balls dropped and I got like a deeper voice, right?
Yeah.
I have always thought when I've heard recordings of myself that I've always like seemed really nasally. I don't know if you guys have thought similar things, that my noise is like super nasally in a way.
No,
however,
not really.
Okay, so I've thought that, but I was thinking about this recently, and I think one of the reasons was when I was young, because my voice started getting really deep. I don't know, like when I was 12, like puberty age, regular puberty age. Yeah. And when my voice started getting deep, everyone was like, they weren't making fun of me, but they were like really quick to point it out. They're like, "Wow, your voice is deep. Like, what's going on?" And as a kid,
that's what.
Yeah. Well, as a kid,
right?
I got super self-conscious about it. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my voice is deep." I'm like, "What am I gonna do?" So what I did instead was I would like forcibly talk in a higher voice, not like this. Like I would talk like in a Mickey Mouse voice, but I'd like raise my voice up like this. So I'd be like,
interesting,
like regularly talking. And I think I've done that so much throughout my childhood that I naturally, like I'm talking now, raise my voice up just when I'm regularly talking. When in actuality, I was like, I should be talking like this because this is when I don't have any stress on my voice. When I talk like this,
I can see that. Yeah.
I like put a lot of stress on my voice, and I realized when I was talking to people, like my throat kind of hurt if I talk for a long period of time. But when I talk like this, it's like really relaxed. So I think when I was a child and when I was like I just like always like subconsciously tried to talk in a higher pitched voice. And I just was listening to the podcast and I was like hearing that more. So I just decided I'm just going to try and stop doing that. So I'm going to try and talk in this deeper voice now.
Just talk normal.
So it's like a huge like difference now. I feel like it's really weird. I'm trying to like keep my voice down instead of like get up like into this like Sonic-esque like, hey guys, gonna go get those rings. Like I don't know. So now I'm like trying to train myself back.
I remember you telling me that you had intentionally talked like in a higher pitch in like middle school. I remember the initial part, but now you realize your realization of that you need to.
I need to like not lower. Do that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I felt
that's new.
I thought that was so. I don't know. It was like weird. I was like, I'm just gonna try and not do that because I think it's just better for me to not do that. So that's my story.
Makes sense.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for sharing, man.
I don't think there's much. There's not much to comment on it, but I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be weird. I don't know if I'll be able to notice in the recording, like when I.
Are you talking relaxed right now?
I'm talking relaxed right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because
I can hear a difference.
Yeah,
between the different
like it's
two.
weird for me to like keep it relaxed and just to not talk.
Yeah.
In a higher pitched voice, but I'm trying to.
I remember when my voice got deeper.
Yeah.
It was probably
obviously it changed. I kind of remember it but I don't remember how I sounded before. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It was like a much more gradual change, probably. Like for me, I just started cracking. Probably. I was like, like when your voice cracks when you're going through adolescence or whatever. I was just doing a lot of that, and then eventually it just got deep, and I was like, oh,
huh. I mean, because my voice isn't like super deep, in comparison to yours. So I don't feel that maybe there wasn't too much. I would honestly need to go back and look at recordings and listen to how I sounded, and do like a side by side. That'd be kind of cool. Actually,
it would be. It would be cool. But yeah, I'm like wondering.
That's funny.
Not many people have pointed out like, oh, your voice seems to have dropped even lower. But to me, it feels way different because it's like coming from way deeper in my body, whereas like
it's like coming from your chest.
Yeah,
right?
it's like coming from my chest. Whereas
the power I feel within.
Yeah. And then whereas like it would come from like the top of my throat if I was to talk like higher. So yeah. It's going to be interesting.
It feels natural. I mean, like, I don't feel...
well, the thing is...
There's no need to change.
Well, the thing is, the high voice now feels natural. But it's, like, more strained. It's like if you feel like you had to, like, flex. I don't know how you would compare this to something else.
It's like when you have a habit that you have been doing for so long.
It's like a habit.
You realize it's a bad habit.
Yeah.
Like, I have had several of those throughout the years. I'm like, why do I do that?
Yeah.
And it took a while to like, of concentrated effort to stop doing them.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. But
yeah.
It's so weird.
It is really weird. So now we're getting even, we're going to go further beyond the deep voice. We're going to try and get deeper.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite scenes of that whole anime.
Yeah. Go further beyond.
This is to go even further beyond.
Yeah. It's very stereotypical.
It's
like
so
anime.
good. Takes him. Well, that's a Goku scene when he goes from Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3, and it's like, and he like almost cracks the planet.
Yeah,
in
he
half,
like almost splits the planet up, like almost dies. It looks like he almost dies. Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid for the first time. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like half the episode it takes to transform.
That's so typical for the anime, but
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
It was so cool though. That's my favorite form of his for sure. Is the long hair.
Yeah, all
his features completely change as compared to the other transformations.
His eyebrows go away too. I don't think he has eyebrows when he goes into Super Saiyan 3.
He gets like recessed eyes, so it looks more like cavemanish in a way.
Yeah,
It
goes back to
this
monk.
whole different transformation.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
The
original Return to monkey. Actually,
Saiyans are monkeys.
I was gonna say, yeah. Actually, Super Saiyan 4.
They're born with tails.
Actual Return to monkey. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Dragon Ball is a weird show.
It is.
That's my Dragon Ball tangent for the episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It always comes up
Anime
somehow. I
tangent.
feel like. Yeah, but on to the actual topic I wanted to talk about today with you boys.
Right.
So
if we went on an hour-long tangent,
it was an hour-long tangent. That was fine though. We got into some good stuff. But so as Carly was talking to you guys before we started recording the podcast, but we were at a festival this weekend. We traveled, went to a festival, and it was the Maple Syrup Festival of our state. Now I don't know if you guys are big maple syrup fans, but
are you sure this isn't Canada?
It is not.
I mean,
Canada.
I've had maple syrup as much as the regular American has.
I got to tell you, I didn't know there was so much that went into maple syrup until I went to this festival.
Okay, let me tell you what I think it takes to make maple syrup, and then you'll correct me.
Okay.
So you find a tree.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a very good start.
And then you drill a hole into it, and then you put a little tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that drains out like this maple sugar water into a bucket. And then you take the bucket, and then you have to... There's another process you have to do. You gotta like... Not... what's the word when you like simmer something and then it like becomes denser?
You boil it?
You boil?
No.
Well,
no,
you boil it.
Reducing. You like reduce
it. Yeah.
And then it becomes thicker, and then you add sugar probably. Unless it's like 100% pure, and then you don't. But and then you put it in a bottle and you sell it to somebody. That's how I think it's made.
You're pretty dang close. You just reduce it, and then after you reduce it, you're done. It's like starts out as like 98% water, and you reduce it to like 60% water, and then you sell it.
Dang.
But yeah, like
if you want to add more sugar.
Yeah, well, you don't typically add more sugar because it's already like so high in sugar. But I guess you could do it if you so incline. But they got me thinking. We got a lot of weird festivals, I was gonna see what kind of festivals you guys have been to, because I think I've been to a couple like weird ones. Like every city has their own special festival. I know one of my cities had like a strawberry festival, even though we don't grow strawberries in our where we live. Like it's just got the strawberry festival. There was another one that was there's like it's like a old time festival. I forget what they're called. It's like a nights festival.
Old Renaissance festival.
Yeah, Renaissance festival.
I don't old time festival.
I don't know. I don't.
Just a bunch of boomers.
The old timers.
It's like a bunch of 80s boomers.
I don't know if those are common, like in everywhere, but I just didn't know if you guys have been to any weird festivals. Like they're
Have
everywhere.
you been to Ren Fair?
I've not been to Ren Fair. Is this a normal thing?
I have.
Is Ren Fair a normal thing?
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Most cities have.
What do you do there?
On the outskirts, they hide them in, no,
They hide them?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not very entertaining to me, but it seems interesting.
Do you like eat mutton and then drink wine and
you eat bad food and you hang around? You
Bad
wear
food?
clothes.
The best thing about going to Ren Fair is eating a giant freaking turkey leg.
Listen, nothing in the
a foot and a half
Renaissance
long.
time tasted good, okay?
But this isn't the Renaissance time. This is just a
then
modern
they're not doing it
interpretation
right.
of it.
They're not doing it right then, because
Well, yeah, because
everyone
half
should
the
go
people
there and
die
hate eating the food.
because of plague. There's going to be some bubonic plague,
Yeah,
Everyone, there's no modern medicine, so if you get cut, you just die immediately.
Yeah.
There's pig crap everywhere. No, but yeah, no. True Ren Fair is pretty fun. Like again, giant freaking turkey leg and having like a giant like stein of beer. Actually drinking out of a horn. That was pretty awesome. They had ones like you sell the Viking style like horn of ale. That was a blast. Also axe throwing. So I went. I went to axe.
That a thing
I went there a couple of years ago. Obviously when I was of legal age, and
obviously
it was the first time in a while, but I'd been, and yeah, it's a blast. Just I didn't dress up or anything like that, but I feel like that's kind of it's almost like Comic-Con or AX or something like that, right? Where you
just
cosplay
go with like
but
swords
instead of going as anime. Yeah, you go with like swords and wear some
you
felt.
go as King Arthur the Third or something. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
dress up as Saber. If you dress up as Saber and go
I don't
there,
know what's
that'd be cool.
You're right. That'd be hilarious. Just walk in there.
The only fairs or festivals I've been to are like ethnic festivals.
I think those are the cool ones. Like I've been to a German festival, which sounds a lot like a Renaissance festival because it's just mutton and beer, which sounds very on point for the Renaissance festival. But yeah, there's like other like Portuguese festivals where they like sell a bunch of stuff in a certain area.
I mean, I've been to Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah,
a German festival, so it's two separate things. And then I got really drunk at the German festival.
That's like required.
I have footage I do not remember. And there was I've been to an Irish festival, a Scottish festival, a couple of times each, and then probably a Renaissance one at one point in there. But they're all, they're interesting. It's just interesting to see. I'm not a big festival guy in general.
Yeah.
We did go to the one in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know what that was for though. Like what I don't know what it was that one where they were like lifting up this like person, right? They had like these people.
I don't know what was going on. I saw the food stalls and I'm like, this is like,
and there was like
where I'm gonna
people
be.
crowded around a temple and they were all chanting, and then all of a sudden it stopped and we went on with our day.
Everyone
or something.
left. It was very sudden.
I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, festivals are weird.
What about fairs? Have you guys?
What's the difference between a festival and a fair?
A fair is
is very specific to the Midwest, I think.
Yeah, it's like very American.
No, I mean
fair
we
food.
have
fair food.
There's fair. I've been to fairs in my area, in the Southern California area. But what? Okay, now I'm curious though. What defines your fair?
Like shitty little Ferris wheel that's like transported via
okay
50-50 shot of it
elephant
crashing.
ears. That's
What are
classic.
elephant ears?
It's basically a giant thing of dough, and you put cinnamon sugar on it. It's just carbs.
never heard
And you
of
fry.
it's
You've
amazing.
never had an
That one.
elephant ear, bro?
Oh, it's
No.
fried.
Are
Yeah.
you? Yeah, it's fried. It's like a thin boy. Have you had a funnel cake?
Yeah,
Funnel
that's
cakes.
okay.
Elephant ears aren't.
That's usually at the fairs I go to.
Okay, those are also a big fair food thing. They got like the fried
Fried
Oreos,
food is big in fairs.
fried ice
Oh, yeah.
cream.
There's or deep fried, I
Yep,
should say.
deep-
There's deep fried Oreo, deep fried Kool-Aid,
Deep fried
Everything
bacon.
fried.
deep fried Twinkie.
Yep,
Oh,
that's a good
that's
one.
absolutely
I
Fried
never liked
pickles.
any of those.
Have you guys
things,
ever had
really.
some of the craziest
Fried
deep?
pickles?
Have you guys had like crazy deep fried food before?
The weirdest one for me was Kool-Aid. That didn't really make
I mean,
sense.
that sounds
deep
awful.
fried.
What is
Yeah,
even
Kool-Aid.
fried?
They're just like dough balls that are like red, and they're Kool-Aid-ish. They're not good. I
They're
don't
not
know
good.
why they're
Yeah,
a thing.
Yeah.
just the name. I've had the ice cream before. That was really, really good. Deep fried ice cream.
I can see that being good.
It's like the
It's
Deep
like
fried
still-
memes.
deep fried beans.
Memes. Deep
Oh
fried
yeah,
memes.
Jesus.
I like deep fried memes.
Why
as much
would you
as
deep
next-
fry beans?
I was like,
That sounds
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, sure. I like it on burritos.
I mean, that's
and
just
stuff.
refried beans.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, a fair is. I'm actually surprised they have those, but I feel like that's a very Midwestern thing.
Rides,
I know that.
like little fair rides are what
Yeah.
characterize
Yeah.
them for me.
Fourth of July was always the thing. Is like you go to the fair, or there'd also be like the county fair.
Yeah,
once
yeah.
a year.
Yeah, like petting
And-
zoos there
yeah.
and stuff, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
There's the ring toss things, little
Yep.
fair games like that, or like you hit a dart through a balloon and get a prize.
Did you guys
the fish
do
thing.
like the animal contests or the plant contests too? Like biggest pumpkin, or biggest
What
cow
are
or something
these?
like that.
Like someone,
compete
like
in
you
it?
bring and that's
Yes.
definitely a Midwest thing. Like
Yeah,
That's a very
there's no
Midwest
farmers
thing.
out where I live.
That was very popular with where we were. Yeah,
Yeah.
that to me is a TV thing only. Like I've only ever
Oh.
seen that in movies. And
Really?
TV.
it's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Funhouse
Someone brings
too.
their prized petunia or their prized
It's the-
yam that's like 10
The
pounds.
prized for yam.
Even in relatively like populous and urban areas, they'll still have those types of fairs in the Midwest of just like
Because in the Midwest, the populous area is like 20 miles round radius, and then it's all farmland around that.
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That's
that's
kind
true.
of like what it amounts to. That was the biggest thing when I moved there is I would drive to their city, and there'd be nothing in between. Whereas in Southern California, you drive to their city, and there's just cities in
It's-
between.
yeah,
solid.
That's what I
There's no
loved
open
about.
area.
That's what I loved about California is like there's no farmland. I love that there's stuff everywhere, whereas you came from a different.
Well, there is.
perspective.
It's just like way up north, and it's like all concentrated in one area. Like all the Central California is all farmland, but no one
Yeah.
sees it because no one's out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like between like Fresno and LA, it's basically just when you're driving up the highway, it's all just there's basically mega city sprawl going all the way between there. Wouldn't you say?
In my mind, I can't figure out where Fresno is.
Are you a real Californian?
It's not a place I would go, really. So,
It's Fresno.
Fresno.
yeah.
No offense to
and
people in
there's,
Fresno. but
Yeah. Well, we don't have
let's
any
be
Fresno
real.
listeners. I'm pretty sure we do have Fresno listeners. Whoops.
Then there's
We love you.
whatchamacallit, the other city that everyone doesn't like.
San Francisco. I'm just kidding. That was
No,
a joke.
it's,
That was a
it's,
joke. That was a joke.
It's our capital. I can't remember it.
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Sacramento's
Man,
the capital.
I think everyone I've met from Sacramento says Sacramento's terrible.
Everyone.
And in between LA and Sacramento is basically all farmland.
Yeah.
I was gonna say most people in LA that I've met say LA is also terrible.
It's true.
I feel like everyone like the city they're born in. It's like, oh, this place is shit.
Yeah, everyone does
It's
say that.
well, it's like it's just a big city, like New York is the other big city. New York and San Francisco are probably the only other two big cities.
Yeah.
What?
Although
There's
And
other big cities.
Most people, I mean, New Yorkers
Chicago.
are like fiercely
Chicago.
defensive of their own place.
yeah, that I was going to add that the exception is New Yorkers and Chicagoites still lesser or Chicagoites. I don't actually know the technical term for someone from Chicago.
Chicagans.
Chogans.
No, but definitely like there's some, especially New Yorkers will defend like, okay, this is, they're from New York. And
Yeah, a lot of people from New York are like greatest city on earth. It's the
Yep.
best. Go on an adventure. If you want to go on a true adventure, go to New York.
LA and San Francisco are just like burnout cities. Like you can live there as long as you can last, and then you just got to go somewhere else because it's just so high paced, so expensive, so like all over the place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like you're expected to perform literally a lot of the times if you're in LA.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. Yeah.
It wears on you, I think, and that's why people I think don't like it.
A lot of people are
to people who like that kind of atmosphere. It's probably a great city.
Yeah. LA for me was always like, I don't know if it would be a long-term thing. I would much prefer the vibe of San Diego, just personally, something that's a little bit more laid back. Because I like California, but not the craziness of LA all the time. A lot of the time it's cool. I like it. Like, I don't know, it's fun. The charm is there.
Well, I'm excited to go to AX with you guys because we made plans to do that, and that's in LA, and that's really close to where I used to live, and I'd love to go like to some of the beaches areas so I can show you guys around like that type of vibe that I just kind of grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be super cool, I think, to do.
I think it'd be very cool. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
The convention itself is going to be
like a day or two
very exciting for us because none of us have been to any sort of convention like that. So
I've never been to a
all
convention.
really excited, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, the closest one that did pop up, I know we had a couple friends back in college who'd go to, I think it was a YomaCon in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one.
So.
It was like the only Michigan convention I can think of.
Yeah, when we're all at MSU.
Yeah, and I know we had a couple friends who go there, and I was like, oh, you know, well, we had one friend of ours who cosplayed a lot. She did some really awesome cosplays. But yeah, it was never something that really popped up, but now I'm excited
to go. Like, I've never been to one. It sounds interesting. I bet there's gonna be a lot of weird things there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm gonna be.
And it's gonna be
excited
hotter
to see
than
it.
hell.
I'm just as excited for all the weird shit. Yeah,
it's gonna be very hot there.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be cool because I think that'll be the first time we'll be able to do an in-person podcast.
I think that
Yeah.
will be the
Record an
first
in-person
time.
podcast.
Yeah, so we'll do an
We'll
in-person
have to get
podcast.
a mic for it, though.
We'll bring our own mics.
We'll bring our own mics. We'll have a lot of audio bleed between each other, but we could probably handle it. And we'll just sit
figure it out.
like away from each
Or
other,
just
I guess.
just get one mic in the center and we all like
we all
crowd
talk
around
to it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm excited
Well,
for that.
all you do is just bring my laptop and we record into it, and then I upload the footage, and then we're good.
Yeah.
I'll bring my mic. I want that quality to still be there. For
I'm
going
to
to
bring my mic. No question. I'm going to bring my mic.
Yeah. So,
Question is, do I bring the arm too?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The arm, you don't need the arm.
Just hold the
Well,
mic.
just get the stand that it came with. You know, our mics came with those little mini stands.
I don't know where it is.
I'm saying I don't know where mine is either.
think I brought it.
Actually, I do know. It's attached to my. I have an extra sound filter, but yeah. No, I'm
That'll
really
be fun.
excited to do
So
that.
I'm very excited. A, just to hang out with the people in person again.
Yeah.
And B, because it's going to be a cool event.
It's going to be very
and probably
cool.
the first vacation I have in like a long time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Crazy.
Yeah.
I know, what was I going to say? We might be there. Are we going to do the thing? We've been talking about it. We might be there, like, handing out, like, little business cards, making a little content video out of our visit there.
I mean, why not? Why not, like, hand out cards with, like, a link to our podcast?
Yeah, so I think, like...
QR code?
If we, depending on what we do, like, we were thinking about, like, maybe making, like, some shirts, have a QR code on our, on the little...
Oh, wow, shirts.
Card.
That'd be
I
crazy.
think that'd be cool to have shirts. And, just, like, try to like see if we could promote the podcast and make it in some weird funny
We should
content.
just have like the logo on the front and a QR code on the back.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Absolutely,
idea.
yeah.
I think that's a great idea. So that would be super
fun.
fun if we could actually get that going and just I don't know.
It's not that hard. Shirts like custom shirts like $20-$30 a piece.
Yeah, then put together a fun little video or something, or like just I don't know aftermath podcast about it would be really really fun. So.
Definitely an aftermath podcast.
If any of you are listening and are going to be in AX this year, please come say hi. I don't know if anyone's actually going to be there.
Yeah, how will they find us?
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
right.
have the shirts on.
I'll look for the shirts, I guess.
Look for the shirts.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're that big enough yet. I would be pretty shocked if someone came and said hi, but
I'd be shocked. I would
That
not
would
know
be
how
a-
to handle it.
that
I
would
would
be
run
awesome.
away probably.
That'd be awesome. We will give you a big hug if you come and support us.
I'd give you a crisp high five.
Oh, a very
Yeah.
crisp, sanitized high five. I know there's a lot of sweaty hands there, but we'll be sanitized.
Yep.
But yeah, that'll be
Fist
fun.
bump.
That'll be super fun.
Should we do tank tops? instead of
Tank tops
t-shirts
might be a little
like
bit easier to manage, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm
I
very very
gotta say.
excited. I'm very very excited. I think it's going to be
Same.
a super good time.
Did you guys get your next box? Because I've had that for a while.
Mm-hmm. I've eaten quite a few of them.
I've eaten a couple of them too.
Were we waiting? I actually didn't think we were doing.
I didn't think we were gonna wait for that. Honestly,
no.
I think.
But I thought I'd check.
I think the next box is actually a lot like my favorite so far. It's really, really good.
The spring one?
This box?
Yeah, the spring box. I loved this box.
Those sticks, or whatever they are. Have you tried those
the
yet?
potato sticks?
No, not the potato sticks. Those are decent. They're like clam flavored.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but have you tried the...
like the orange things?
Yes.
Yeah, those were weird. Those are good, but weird.
Those are really
I've not
good.
had any of the box, so I'm excited.
Yeah, you should
They're like
try
an
them.
orange... I forget... There's it's like it's like a French thing.
Yeah,
It's like the hollow tube.
It looks like a... Yeah. And it has like the orange on the inside and like chocolate on the outside or something like that.
Vice versa. It's orange on the outside, chocolate on the inside.
Yeah, okay.
But it's like got like this like light citrusy flavor.
Yeah.
And it just tastes really good. And I was like, this is my favorite so far. I tried some of I've tried a couple of different things, like both the savory and the sweet ones. Mm-hmm. And I definitely like the first box we did was pretty good. I really liked.
Yeah, the plum
It brought me
fries.
the plum fries were amazing.
Yeah.
Like I expanded my palate so much from that box.
Yeah,
this is.
Now I go into like the Japanese markets and I'm like, I see what's going on here. Like I see the box or the snack layout. I know what to expect.
I know what you taste like.
Yeah.
I'm so jelly that you have like a true Japanese market. I have like a Chinese, I have a Vietnamese market, I have a Thai market.
Oh, but no true Japanese.
Like Japanese market specifically.
Interesting. Yeah.
We have a couple of Vietnamese.
I do. It's just really small.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but you don't.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
You can't wait for what? No.
Oh.
I was kind of finished.
Oh, you're good. I just can't wait. I was talking to you guys about making ramen soon, and I got everything on the grocery list, and I'm going to attempt it. I think next weekend. It's gonna be.
Alright.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Like true tonkatsu.
true. It's not tonkatsu. It's like chicken paitan or something like that. It's like a chicken-based tonkatsu, and the chicken one. The reason I want to do the chicken one first is because it's like the same flavor and feel as the tonkatsu ramen, except the bones and the chicken break down faster, so it takes less time to boil and cook. So instead of tonkatsu, where it would take like 12 hours or more, this chicken one will take
And
like
stink up your
6.
house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, chicken might stink at my house still.
Stink
but,
up. It's gonna make it smell amazing.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I need to get like good noodles, but I also have like 20 things to buy, and I'm a little scared of that grocery bill. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it financially.
Don't worry about it.
This ramen. I'm never
never
gonna
worth
financially recover from this ramen.
Yeah, I don't know. It like the ingredients are like really they call are really nice. So I don't know. It's like a full chicken I need to use to boil. I mean, maybe I'll make 20 bowls, and I'll just need to eat it for a whole week, and that's how I'll do it.
Just refrigerate it.
That's what I do. I'll make like a primary meal for the week and just eat
it. Yeah.
Because all the recipes have so many servings. So I'm like,
they do like give you.
For a while.
It's like anticipated like for a family of 4. That's what most recipes cook for. I feel like.
Yeah, my recommendation is actually try Soma noodles. Buy some from like you can get them at Meijer, at least in my area.
Soma noodles.
Somen. They're
Somen?
thinner. Think of them like angel hair to ramen's normal spaghetti. I know, Sean, this is probably going to trigger you because you fucking hate angel hair.
I hate
But I like it.
Angel hair.
And angel hair.
Is that from
Angel
something?
soft. No, angel soft. The ideal balance of softness and strength.
Oh
I
yeah.
prefer spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, you want the thick spaghetti.
You want
that thick udon noodle.
I want fettuccine.
You want fettuccine.
Get over here, boy. I need the udon.
I want
What am I doing right now?
I don't know.
I don't know
Is this
what's
going to be in? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think we've started. We're back.
I think we're back, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we took a quick hiatus to grab, some refreshments.
Trying to get more drunk.
Stock on the... Well, we got to prepare for the stream.
Yeah, we're streaming again.
You can't have a good golfing stream.
Yeah.
If
Mini golf stream
like, slightly
2.0. The lads are back at it again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try not to fuck it up this time with me dropping out halfway through.
That's fine. I mean, As long as you were able to join back in, like we
were just
what was
figuring
funny
out,
is because
though.
we were in the middle of like a recipe and you just were gone.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah,
Mike's gone, and we are so screwed.
And then I
We were
hop in
done.
for 5 minutes, and then headset crashes again, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah.
it happens.
So
Yeah,
That's
luckily,
fun. Yeah.
I mean that happened to me before, but luckily my headset's fully charged now. You know, make
Yeah.
sure your guys' are
Yep,
charged.
mine is
That's
charging right now.
a big key. But I'm excited. That I don't think we talked about that on the podcast yet, but we did the VR chat stream and the other day, and I think it was the first time we'd played VR in a while.
Yeah, for sure.
And B, it's the first time we actually were like doing a VR chat thing that was a game.
Yeah.
Because before when VR chat, we kind of just wandered around like, oh, what's this? What's going on?
yeah,
And to me, I think what really makes VR chat shine from that experience was those like games you can play. Like we did a cooking game, kitchen cooking game. It's like Overcooked, but in VR. And
Yeah.
then we did golf. Like we just played mini golf.
Yeah, and that's so
And
therapeutic.
that was so fun to me.
yeah,
You know?
it was really fun.
To be
Having
able
that
to do that.
interaction is really good. Really, really good.
the Overcooked one was really chaotic though. Like,
Yeah.
especially in VR, you're like running around.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Overcooked is. It's chaotic. And then in VR, it was even more so, I thought.
Yeah,
I bet you we could get pretty good. I bet you we could, even though it seemed impossible to get like the 3 stars for like advanced burgers, I think we could do it.
Yeah.
I think if we got good at like throwing stuff and catching it and cooking
Yeah.
it and stuff, I bet
And
we
I
could do it.
imagine if we brought somebody else in, like got them on
Absolutely.
PC or something,
Yeah, yeah.
that would be a big help too.
yeah, four people. I mean, it's optimized for 4 people, right? Normally, at least Overcooked.
I think
I think
so.
so. I think 4 people is
I don't
the-
see how 2 people could do that. I mean,
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane if you could do that. Optimized.
like I was still running around nonstop, and all I was doing was making burgers.
Yeah,
You know,
throwing burgers in the
grilling the
pan.
patties and bacon.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that was fun though. Definitely
But
recommend.
I was starting to get the hang of throwing things. Like I can throw the ingredients from one end all the way over to the cutting boards. So ideally, if someone yelled, "I need an onion," I just chuck it.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then it's less time.
I need like a designated
But
And we
food
try
the
to
small
catch it.
organizations.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll do that again, and it was good.
It's the future.
It's the future. It's the metaverse.
Honestly, though, I don't see. I don't. I'm segueing us again.
That's okay. This is a new topic.
I don't see how VR could be a future, like a normal thing, until we get something that's like Sword Art Online. That's a full dive.
I think it has to be
environment.
that advanced until we until like PlayStation's 7 would be fully VR or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where we plug
I-
ourselves into the Matrix.
I just don't see like the headset. I just don't unless they can make it really small, like they did in Ready Player One. I think in the book Ready Player One, it was just glasses, that transmitted light directly onto your retinas.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make it that light and small and the fidelity high enough, then maybe you wouldn't need to be a full dive system. But if we don't get there, then I don't see it being like a mainstream thing.
I
Yeah.
think
Now,
I
do you get motion sick?
No.
I would get motion sick after a long playset, like longer than what our last stream was, maybe 2 hours. In a game like Boneworks, where it's really fast paced, I think I'd get pretty sick fast. But in a game in VR chat where you're just kind of walking around and doing slower actions, it's not too bad for me at least.
But in a full dive environment, I imagine you wouldn't get any of that because when you get motion sickness, or a lot of people, because of the disconnect between what your body is feeling and what your vision is seeing. But in a full dive environment, and I'm referencing full dive from Sword Art, but basically
Yes.
what
Obviously.
I'm saying is like putting your mind into the video game, so it is if you're there. You don't feel your physical body; you would feel just what is inside of the game. That's kind of like the Matrix. That's kind of what I'm going for here. And I think if you're in that full dive environment, then you're not going to feel motion sickness, except for when you normally would, like on a boat or a plane or something, like a lot of people do. If you were on a boat in the VR world, you know? I just
Get
don't think
seasick
it's going
in
to be...
VR?
Yeah.
Question is, would your actual body react where you actually throw up? Because they've kind of screwed up. You'd be like laying
down,
and
die.
you vomit.
Choke
It's like,
yourself to death. Oh, God.
I'm just imagining.
That'd be horrifying.
Like, you've seen Breaking Bad, right? It's like where spoiler alert for Breaking Bad.
Yeah, big spoiler for Breaking Bad for sure.
Yeah, where Jane dies and because she overdoses and chokes on her own vomit, right?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I feel like that'd be like the same thing as like, oh shit, if your actual body can react to that.
Yeah.
My fear is that, like, see, I actually like that disconnect. Like with VR headset, I know I'm still like in the
you're still real.
Yeah, you're in the real world.
I can see like through the the bridge of my nose.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can see my environment around me a little bit, right? Through like, even though it's mostly darkened out, I'm like, okay, I can tell I'm in the real world. I like that disconnect because I feel like a full dive, there's something terrifying to me about full dive because you're like essentially putting yourself fully in the hands of the machine.
Yeah, it's really vulnerable to think about. I feel like the engineering to that as well. I don't know if that level of engineering.
If you have proper safeguards, you're fine.
Yeah, until Sword Art Online
to me,
happens.
I'm the opposite.
And everyone's trapped.
Yeah,
I would prefer a full dive over current tech.
I would as well, but I just don't know. Like the engineering for that, I feel like is so far away. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's coming, and I don't even know. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we're at as far as engineering goes. I just think that is when it's going to become more mainstream. I don't think it can until that happens. Just because of that disconnect, it exists. I mean, it's in the name because of the disconnect. It's disconnected.
Yeah.
It doesn't work fully. It hasn't fully merged the virtual and real world. I mean, it can't become normal. Like this whole Facebook metaverse thing.
Yeah.
Can't become a mainstream way of working and doing your business if you're not fully in VR.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ready Player One went into that. They had all these headsets and things, but I kind of disagree with that.
It's not fully there. Yeah.
I feel like if the fidelity increases, that'd be amazing. Like,
yeah,
I'm 100%
fidelity. That's a big step.
Increase that fidelity.
Yeah, we need better that.
Make it more realistic. Like you got to make sure like to have still that kind of there's a point where it'll become uncanny valley, right? You got to still have that kind of like almost semi-real or almost hyper real environment.
Yeah,
I think that just adds to the VR experience, helps you understand that you're still not in that like the real world is like I don't want a VR world that's real. That'd freak me out because it'd be like it's too real, too uncanny. I'd have the uncanny valley effect too much. I mean, you can always have the simulation argument on this, but I'll hold off on that. But what are your thoughts?
That's needed. Well, the other thing that's needed to really kind of up-res the experience is better hand tracking.
Yeah, that's a big step.
Absolutely.
You need non-controllers, just hand tracking stuff.
The Oculus actually does pretty decent hand tracking. Like,
I'm
very
respectable.
surprised because it has that overlay sometimes where you see your own hands as well as the virtual hands, and it's almost there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But being able to actually interact finger-wise and have full tracking no matter where your hands are, that's tough to do and would be the next step they need. And
also,
that
like,
hand tracking in Oculus,
like wearing
that's hard
gloves.
to do without like gloves and stuff. But like, if they just had hand tracking with just your hands, that's one thing. But being able to track everywhere and use that in every game, like Oculus hand tracking is only available in those Oculus apps. You go into any other app, like you use Steam VR or anything like that, and that's gone. So, I mean, that's one thing. Like that's you could put that under increased fidelity, increased physical fidelity there.
Yeah,
I still want that disconnect.
Yeah, I think that we'll be at.
I want all the way.
I think we'll be at like where we get these devices in our homes that allow you to have like they have like a treadmill on the bottom of it. You get onto this little treadmill, you secure in, and you can walk and run and stuff, and like jump and maybe like fall down. I think we'll be there before we do a full disconnect. We do have like beta versions, and there are some setups where it's like $300, $400 where you could buy that, put it in your house. It's not awesome, it's not perfect, but you get that feeling of walking, and it links the ball movement on the floor of your feet
Yeah.
to a thumbstick, and it's the best we have right now. But I think that a really refined version of that will happen before full disconnect, and that's
But
all I
that
need.
is one of those things that's going to keep it at the enthusiast level, I think.
But
Not the majority of people is not going to buy that.
You don't think so?
You know, I think it's just a fact. You know, like
I think if they make it cheap enough, they will.
Well, think about it this way: lots of people go to the gym. Not many people have a home gym. You know,
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be the same thing. I mean, like a lot of people have, I mean, that's kind of the best example I could think of off the top of my head. But like, there's a limit where, or a point where people decide I'm not going to get this extra stuff, and I think that with VR is when it becomes like this full like physical, when you have to take up space in your house. You know.
Yeah.
That's definitely an enthusiast level, is like you want to do that. If you have one device that puts you into the world flawlessly, everyone will get it. You know,
That's true.
It just be, that's what happened to Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
And in Sword Art, in like the future versions of the headset,
yeah.
it became like this, you know, like earpiece thing.
Okay.
That became AR as opposed to VR, augmented reality.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone had that. And because it's a quick, simple device, there's a barrier of like, I'm not going to go out of my way to do things, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I just think that's so far away, and I want it to be in my lifetime. I don't know. That would be really
I think
cool.
it's in our lifetimes, but probably when we're like 50.
That's actually, if I'm 50 and that exists, I'll be pretty happy. I mean, you're like nearing levels of downloading your own consciousness into something at that point, I feel like.
Oh, I'm all about it.
That's what I was actually going to bring up. So my dad and I sometimes have this conversation, and we've gone through it a couple times, because we're like, okay, what's the idea of the downloading your own consciousness? Because kind of come to the conclusion that it may happen within our lifetimes, right? But not his. And so he's like,
yeah.
you know, he'll be like it'll literally appear when he passes, right?
Yeah.
And that's like something
That would
he's
suck,
almost
'cause
having an
you're like,
existential crisis about. I'm kind of outing my dad on this, but like it's something we've talked about quite a bit. And I think it's I didn't want to go too deep because I feel like this is a really deep conversation to have on this.
Yeah.
But that's something I'm really intrigued out, because honestly, I'm more okay with uploading the consciousness than actually full dive VR, because like it's almost like a clone of yourself.
It's the same thing. What are you talking about?
I think that is
it though?
Okay, here. Okay, this is. I would love to have a really deep conversation about this with you guys.
sure.
I've always thought, you know, like how
dedicated-
people are like, if someone has a clone of themselves, people are like, oh, I don't want to clone myself because the clone will kill me. I think that just means they have a bad relationship with themselves. If I clone myself,
yeah.
I think we'd be best friends.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to
like
have
to
another
think
one of
that-
them.
That's a little narcissistic though, don't you think?
It
It's like,
100%
oh my
is,
gosh.
but I think we'd
It's the
have a
truth,
great
yeah.
time.
I think it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like power with numbers, right? Just like I got 3 of myself, I can achieve all these things I want to do in like a third of the time.
Yeah.
But I feel like
And
it's a big ethical discussion on multiple different levels for
Huge.
downloading the consciousness. Because man, I keep going to that one Black Mirror episode where they like torture people. It's like, if you want to torture someone, you download the consciousness and you trap them in a room or torture them for like 300 years.
Yeah.
And they become a shell of themselves. And, it's
And
just,
also, they don't have the option to die, right?
yeah,
Like,
you
yeah.
can't die. You're at the will.
There's
of,
no sweet release of death at the end of like
Yeah,
you know
it's-
your 3,000-year-old life, like, or your essentially infinite lifespan,
Yeah.
as long as you're conscious, the data there. But I mean, that also comes in that thing you're talking about last episode with like you were talking about JPEGs and like data corruption, right? Like what happens if your consciousness is recreated?
recreated. It
multiple
gets
times,
like corrupt.
and it
that'd
becomes
be-
corrupted and like lower
Well, I
resolution,
mean,
and you lose
part of
parts
that-
of
That's
like
a
your
good
soul
movie or
in a
book.
way.
That's a good movie or book.
That's
Yeah.
a really good idea. Although part of what makes that data corruption is the medium of which we store things on. Right
True,
now, it's
yes.
just electronic ones and zeros on spinning media or media that will eventually die out. If we have at some point this like futuristic crystal medium that a lot of sci-fi things have, maybe we avoid that. That's a whole
But if we
separate thing. But
don't?
what I wanted to say was that one of my favorite books is called it's like a series called the Bobaverse.
Mm-hmm.
You've told me this, I think.
I told you guys maybe at one point about this, but it's a book where I think the first chapter is there's this guy. He's a software programmer, nerdy dude, sold his company, and he made a bunch of money. And at the time, there was a new life insurance policy where if you die, they'll freeze you so that you eventually, when the technology comes around where they can fix what was wrong with you, then you come back and you're, have a...
Pull a Walt Disney, essentially.
Yeah. So he did that. On the day he bought it, he died, or he got run over by a car.
Mm-hmm.
He
The
got
day he bought it.
basically.
Wow, that's good luck.
Yeah. He got hit by a truck coon.
And so he was, vision fading, blah, 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 everything. And then he woke up like that. But he couldn't move at all. And it's because in the future of this world, people that were frozen from that, I would say it's around like 100, 150 years later.
Okay.
People that are frozen like that, they're referred to as corpsicles, and they have no rights. Because essentially the U.S. collapsed.
Oh, man.
And like another country inherited everything. And in that new country, these people don't have any rights. So
oh, God.
He was brought back online, but as a computer program.
Okay.
Like they revived him, but they scanned his mind, which destroys the body. And he is now a computer program. And they put him in like his job. They're like, okay, you have two options. A, you do what we tell you and, become the computer program we want you to, or we just delete you.
Wow. So you're a
like,
slave.
Okay, I guess
a lifelong
play along.
Eternity slave. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And his job they were training him for was to be a von Neumann probe, which is a probe. That was a theoretical probe. I forget who von Neumann.
Von Neumann, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Newman.
The theory was that a spaceship would go out from Earth to another solar system. Then it would find resources and build another probe. And then the two probes then go out, other solar systems, find resources, and it's an exponential growth of probes throughout the universe. And that's how they would map the solar system or the universe and find planets that humans could live on and stuff like that.
Sure.
Except now it's an actual person, quote unquote, at the helm of this thing. And if they were to replicate, it would clone himself. Mm-hmm. So it's a fascinating book where you kind of have the issue of resources figured out. Like that's not the issue in the book series. You can go to a solar system, set up 3D printers that can print at the atomic scale and print anything you need.
Yep.
So resource gathering is not an issue. It's just time. It becomes like a time, political, and philosophical, because if you clone yourself, from that moment, that other clone of you is now a different person. Mm-hmm. Of course, an argument could be made, but like you start experiencing things differently. It's divergent.
Yeah, it diverges.
Path.
Yep.
So as you go along, things get further and further from your original you.
Yeah.
And like how that all plays out. And I love this book. There's 4 of them that are out so far. Such a fun read. I think I've read them all like twice. And I just love that topic and that kind of thinking.
Yeah, very thought-provoking.
About either cloning yourself or becoming a computer program, and how things, because humans still exist. So then how do you interact with that, and how does the power dynamic shift? Because you don't need food to survive, and you're powered off a reactor that never goes out, essentially. Mm-hmm. How it's super interesting to think about.
Yeah, you have eternity to figure out yourself, because you're just self-replicating, and there's multiple different versions. I always thought it'd be like a really interesting like superpower. It's like if I could access the parallel versions of myself, say like of the multiverse, right?
Oh,
if I could, because you could parallel process different things. So like I could specialize in like I could specialize in one skill. And have my other self specialize in a different skill.
That assumes you're the prime and you're in control.
Well, I'm assuming it's a hive, so like we're all like operating at the same level, right? And I mean, obviously, but that's also another thing. Is like, what if one of myself dies, or like is trapped in torture, and then every other
person
it spreads,
that.
And you're like what the. Yeah. It's a really interesting thought process of like.
I mean, that's like the multiverse thing that happens in Loki. You know, like.
Yeah, but you're all operating simultaneously. It's like it's instead of, it's the same person in like Bobverse, right? Where it's same person replicated multiple times. It's multiple different people all sharing the same consciousness, which is you as in the identity of you, but and like
it's. You're like a
I guess physically in some way.
Yeah, you're like a deity at that point. It's like how does that even? You'd be such on a different level.
You
mentally.
wouldn't be like
you could be really smart.
Normal.
Yeah,
but you'd still be.
I don't know if you would process things on the same level. That'd be crazy. I don't know if you process things on the same level.
You wouldn't be like human anymore. You'd be like a god at that point.
Well, you'd be processing everything at the same speed, right? Of like the human brain, because you're just meat.
But I don't think we as humans can understand what a hive mind would process things as.
Yeah, it's tough.
True, yeah.
Like there's another book I've read called The Forever War. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty short book, very much written in the wake of like the Vietnam War, so anti-war vibes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's this concept where there's this guy who's from like the 1950s, let's say, and then or the 1960s. And at that time, we get involved in a war with an alien race.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
And this dude's recruited and sent out to, what's a planet that's
Venus?
What's our seventh planet?
Seventh,
Saturn.
Uranus?
Saturn. No, it was like
I passed
maybe a moon
Neptune?
around Saturn, I think.
Titan?
A moon around Jupiter. One of those things
okay.
Calypso or Europa?
I don't need to know the names. It's just in the area. And there's this like portal over there. And by going into the portal at a certain angle, you can then jump to a certain area in the universe. And that's how we are like fighting these people across
what the heck?
The galaxy.
Okay, nice.
But they factor in they factor in relativity to this. So this guy would go out on a mission and then come back, and then when he comes back, like 100 years have passed.
Oh man,
on Earth.
Yeah.
So
and for him, it's been like 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, 2 months, and this book goes on and on and on, and eventually, Earth has passed like 1,000 years, and he's only been out here for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, so every time he comes back, it's a vastly different area, and eventually he comes back, and like to this like military staging planet, and like all the ships are like parked. There's no movement, no activity, and he's like, "What's going on?" And then he's greeted by this very like generic looking guy, and he's like, "Oh, the war's over." They're like,
what? No, it's not. I was just there.
And it's just there. And it's like, oh, we realized that this civilization we were battling was a hive mind. And so all attempts to communicate just never worked because they didn't understand how we communicated.
Oh.
And then it turned out that as they were gone, humanity became a hive mind.
Oh.
So now there is just only
like one
man and woman. There's a bunch of them, but like there's a generic looking man and like a generic looking woman, and we operate as a hive mind now. And so then he comes back to this.
Oh, and he's like
disconnected.
Happened? What the heck?
But both, I mean, they're at peace now, and they have like a built world for all the people that are left over now.
Oh, okay.
And they eventually die out, and then like it's just the human race is a hive mind now. And that's crazy to me because like you just can't imagine how it works.
Yeah, a lot of interesting ideas.
Even like, and America, we're very individualistic, right? And like even, and you can like say, okay, you have more collectivist countries, East Asia, right? But that's not a high. I mean, it's just
it's not a hive mind.
Attitude,
just
yeah.
Right.
Attitude.
It's like the next level.
You're just more aware of your social peers, but yeah, and then so it's like this extreme. Yeah, that's it's just really weird to think
It's
about.
nuts to
And
think
there's
about.
and there's no
Like,
there's no self-identity. There's no identity as you.
Yeah, it's just you
Yeah.
are one. You are.
We are.
We are. Yeah, it's we,
Yes,
not.
we are Legion.
You know?
Yes.
We are Legion. That's actually the name of the first Bob-verse book. We are Legion. We are Bob.
We are Bob. I do like this.
it's
I like the
such a good
title
book.
at least.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting. The Bobverse one especially is a really interesting concept because it's basically just
You guys should read the books. I've started reading them in college, and I found out like a second book release, and I bought it immediately and read the entire day. Like,
Oh, you're just.
I think
in.
I read and finished it in a day or two, and it just
don't you
it's the only
don't you
thing I
love
did.
those days? Like where I know that's
miss
the
those
only way
days.
I read. That's the only way I read is I have to
just
basically
full
sit
in.
down. Like I did that with Konosuba light novel. I did that with Spice Wolf. I basically had to take the entire day. Well, Spice Wolf is basically the entire weekend.
Yeah,
I
whole-
just sat
yeah.
for like I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I read through. I remember
Wow.
reading Feast for Crows. I was at the lake, and I'm like, I basically just read the entire day.
Nice.
If I have a book I'm reading, like in a time where I'm like in college is one thing, I had free time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have a book I'm reading, it's like a 30 minutes to an hour before bed is when I
Yeah.
read, and then
Yeah.
I go to bed and I would do the same until I finish the book.
I just can't do that.
Yeah. I
gotta
need
go,
to read
you gotta
more.
finish it.
I don't read
It's
anymore.
100% or zero.
Yeah,
I haven't
like,
read.
reading's
Like
really
most
good. There's
things I do.
so much. I mean,
Like I like stories. I should be reading
the
books.
amount of media we have,
Yeah.
like just with video, is
Yeah.
crazy. That same amount of media exists in books.
Yeah.
and just
Those are all
there's
story-driven
so much to
medias.
see.
It's just story.
And there's something about books too that deliver more than I love
I love books.
yeah
I've read all the time as a kid.
Yeah, I love video and movies, right? But there's something about books that can convey something completely different than
Yeah.
even video can convey. I don't know what it is. There's just something extra. Like obviously video can convey a certain the actual physical
Well,
environment, but
I don't know if it's like this for you, but I like using my imagination.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I like not being told what something. Sometimes I do. I like being, told what someone looks like or how people act. That's why I like anime as opposed to like the mangas.
Mm-hmm.
But as like
call it
books
manga?
and things like that, manga, whatever.
Manga.
tomato,
Manga.
tomato. It's gonna be
Um,
shit.
I'm a fake weeb.
Fake weeb. I don't know what manga is.
No, you like SAO. You're definitely a weeb.
But books don't tell you how to interpret things. Like I can. It's one of the reasons why there's a podcast I listen to one podcast, which is the D&D podcast. I have never watched it because they live stream it.
Oh, really?
I could see what all these people look like, but I've never seen the people. So in my head, these people are only the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't,
Yeah.
to me, that doesn't interrupt my interpretation of the content because I don't see them as people. I see them as characters.
Huh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
if
think the
anything,
same thing happens for books. Whereas,
Yeah.
like I read The Martian,
Yeah.
before the movie came out. I have a
yeah.
very specific idea of what that guy looks like and how he acts and everything. So it's and then the movie comes out and it might tell you how to interpret that. But to me, the book is always like canon because it is.
Yeah,
That's how I.
It's funny.
That's how I always like. The problem I have with movies based off books is like the same thing. It's like I envision the character a certain way. They aren't that way in the movie, and that's always been something that kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
Just because it's like almost you get like this personal affiliation or personal spice on the book, which is always kind of cool.
I just realized this when you're talking about that. I'm almost the opposite. I can't think of a single book series that I've only read and not watched the movie where I actually remember imagine what the character looks like.
Oh,
just
really?
A real, person.
Whoa.
You never like
The
imagine
Martian
a character.
The Martian
how they
is
look
a
like?
perfect example because I read that too before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And I can think of the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine him. Maybe I imagine him as like I guess myself in like a first person POV.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Versus related to mostly the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like his way of dealing with shit is how I deal with shit. So I relate to that on his level. So, but yeah, like I guess I just don't see a face. It's just like I guess a blur, or I can't picture a specific face.
Well,
obviously besides Matt Damon's face from
because I have a very specific idea of what that guy looks like, and it's not Matt Damon. You know, like in my head, the Martian, the guy, it looks completely different than what they casted. Fine casting, but like I still have that idea in my mind. Or like I'll also mispronounce things if I'm reading. And that just becomes like how it's actually
done. Yeah.
Especially when there's complicated names. Like imagine you can sympathize Michael reading Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
I mean, like,
absolutely,
man, there's complicated names there. I read Aragon as a kid. Loved Aragon.
That was a good
but
series.
the main bad guy, his name is Galbatorix. Long name. And like as a kid, like I never read it. So I think I always pronounced or read it as like Galbatrix, you know, like the wrong thing.
So now it's like all weird.
It doesn't matter though, because it's just how I'm reading it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's my world.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You get to make the decision on that.
Yeah. Stuff like
That's
that.
interesting. Yeah. That's why books are so
man, I
nice,
need to
because you
read
do
a
get
book
to have your own personal spice and spin on a lot of things.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least.
And I feel like I can go back and read old books and not have a problem. Whereas if I watch old TV, it's a problem.
It's like
Yeah.
4K.
Either with resolution or just how they're doing things.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Whereas in a book, I can read like sci-fi from like the 60s and it still works the
Still
same
holds up
way
very
as
well.
sci-fi from nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've read Isaac Asimov and like, you know, that original shit.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, it does. You're right. It definitely holds up.
Like
to
you can
how
read
it
the
is.
H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
Yeah.
That
Or-
holds up. Or
Dude,
you know,
holds
the
up.
I mean, there's
Dome
some
or
ideas that don't, like, I remember it was the robot when whatever that came out.
anything. The robot. What do you mean?
Yeah, when Isaac Asimov was talking about robots, I forget the name of whatever the fucking name of the book, but yeah, he's talking about that, and there's like some ways of explaining things that was different because he was literally like grading that from
Nothing.
from nothing, yeah. Versus now
Yeah.
we have this. It's like zombies, right? Where zombies
Yeah.
are
Like we know what a zombie is.
Right.
You know?
exactly,
Right.
yeah, and you don't have to explain that. There's this image that,
Yeah.
but before that image isn't there. It's not in the popular
Yeah.
Right.
culture. Not
People
in the,
don't know what it
not
looks
in the,
like.
the popular conscious.
Yeah.
So
The hive mind.
That's also fascinating to me. Like how people, man, I don't know.
Man, we got a whole
One of
podcast
those- I
topic.
really,
yeah,
I
feel
really
like-
liked my philosophy.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
Wow, I have only had a beer and a half.
8% though.
It's fine.
I really enjoyed my philosophy classes in college because it's just a different way of approaching things that and thinking that I really enjoy. So
Yeah,
Good times.
I definitely think we're coming to the end of this, but we need to pick up on this on another time.
I think we should have
I'd
a good
love to have a
detailed. We should have a good
philosophical
detailed
podcast.
discussion on some of these topics and extend upon them on another future podcast. I'm in agreement for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, I think we're gonna tune in for tonight. That was almost a podcast. One day we'll get there. Please, everyone, we're on YouTube now. Sean's uploading our podcasts on a schedule.
it'll be a weekly schedule, yeah.
You're uploading
Monday.
Yeah. And we're gonna get all of our podcasts up to YouTube over time, over the next couple weeks. So look out for those YouTube podcasts and like and follow and subscribe.
Streams.
Wait, what?
Streams.
Oh, streams. Yeah, streams are also on there. Please check us out. We stream mostly on Thursdays. We don't know if anyone watches them, but if you do want to watch them, we'll try to be more public about them. Mostly it's Thursdays, like around
We have fun.
8 p.m. EST. Yeah, come watch us, chat with us. It's a great time. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the flip side. It's been great. 20th episode. Here's to many more.
This is the milestone right here. 20 episodes.
20
Yeah.
25 will be another one. And we're excited. We're gonna have some good content coming for all of you beautiful viewers. We love
Thanks
you.
for listening,
Thanks for
guys.
listening. Have a good one. One day we'll get there. It's almost a podcast. Signing out. Your boy, your lad. Bet.